Hi, this platform is called Padlet. I want to make sure you know Padlet because not only will we be using it throughout the course, but it is versatile, awesome, interactive, one of my favorite platforms. Free, that's always good. As you can see, I have it open to what they call my dashboard. On this dashboard, I see that there's no activity on this Padlet. I can make a new Padlet, but if you look down below, it shows you all of the different Padlets that you have already made. So this is one area you can view those, shows you your last activity, and it also shows you the different privacy settings. So kind of what you have in your Padlet at a glance. If I look up here, it has different areas. So this is my dashboard view. If I just want to see my Padlets in themselves, you'll see right here, it's taking a little bit. Those will all come up, and those are all just my Padlets. And then off to the left, you have like shared, contributed, liked, so ones I've participated in, ones that have been shared with me, ones I've liked from their search feature. So lots of different ways. You can reorganize them into tiles and look at them that way. So a couple different options about how you would want to do that. Also has activity. And right now it's telling me I don't have any activity. Attachments. On Padlets, you can, oh, that's funny. See lots of these pictures from me trying out things. On the Padlets, you can actually upload different Padlets, or different videos, different pictures, different images. All of those things you can do as a Padlet user, and you can upload those things into a Padlet, which I'll show you in just a second. Collaborators. So these are all people that I have collaborated with at some point on something. And so now it makes it easy, now that they're in here, I can collaborate with them by just clicking on their tab. Different settings. These are your overall settings. So kind of your profile. If you, for lack of a better word, this is your profile, how you can go through and set different things for you. So we're going to start, how do you make a Padlet? First of all, what is a Padlet? A Padlet is an interactive digital board. That's the best way to think about it. It's a way to collect information from your students. So many possibilities. Tickets out. What do you know about this information? Lots of things. As we go through, you'll be able to spur on those ideas. So it says start with a blank Padlet. These are all your options of layouts. So there's a wall that kind of looks like a Pinterest board per se. It's going to organize them as you see them in the red. Over here, a canvas. A canvas is, they'll scatter and you can connect different content. You can move them, but they kind of pop up all over. Stream is kind of like a Twitter feed. So it's going to, you can tell it to either post a newest post on the end, or if that new one will take over the beginning spot all the time. Grid, just as you see, it's going to be rows of boxes. And then shelf. You'll see shelf in some of our assignments. You can actually ask questions on the top of each row, and you'll have contributions to each one of those. You can tell students that they need to give an example of each or answer the different questions. It makes it a really cool way to have your Padlets look different each time. So if you create, so there's Padlets down here so you can see some basically some examples. But once you create a Padlet, you don't have to be stuck there, and I'll show you how to do that. Say you create it and you think, oh, that is not what I want. So we'll start with a wall, and it's opening it up. When you open up a new Padlet, it's going to automatically give it this funny name, and it's automatically probably going to give you a default picture. So as you can see, my wallpaper, it's marked it blue, and it's given it a name of My Fearless Wall. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and name this something. So I have it named tutorial, and notice when I change it here, it also changed up top. It has my name, and then it says made with whimsy. You'll also want to change this. Oftentimes I use this for directions. So please click anywhere to make a comment. Or you could say, make sure you answer, if it was one of those ones that had the different categories, you could give instructions. Please make sure you comment on each one of the questions, so on. So I have that done. I can also change my wall by just changing to a different picture. Notice there's more. So I can even add my own and change the picture. You can put it to any of those. Notice there's quite a few. Also, when you go down, notice it says View Premium Plans. Padlet is one of those that is robust in its free option. I've used this multiple times, and I've never had to dip into the premium options to make this effective. So as long as, I would say this is a platform that you can use in its free form with not many issues at all. Now, next to my name, and right now it's marked none, but you can choose little icons that maybe go with your Padlet. So maybe I'll click a target. Once again, you can add a feature of your own. Just sliding down here. This is a great thing. So this is new to Padlet. It didn't used to have this. You can push attribution, which will actually take the student's name and put it up before their comment. You can push comments, and this way people can review other people's posts, and they can also reply to another person's post. This makes a board very interactive. I would usually click both of these because I like to have the student's name. If you don't click that, sometimes you just put in the directions, please put your name in the title of your post, and that has been great too. So new post position, because I have it on the wall, do I want the new post to go at the beginning or do I want them to go last? I can put different tags if I were to make this public. I'm not going to, so I'm not going to worry about it. Here's another great feature of Padlet. It automatically gives you, this becomes your beginning of your Padlet address. If you see right here, and notice it's my username, Padlet username plus this. Here's a cool feature. It's going to give you some obscure kind of address for it. But if I want to make this original to my class, so it's a little easier for my students to type in or anything like that, I can say, turn my caps off. I can put tutorial there. And as long as that is not taken on the web, I can go ahead and use that feature. And then, so maybe I'll put tutorial 1 and then I'll push next. So now it's good to go. I can choose whether I want it to be a private Padlet, whether I want to choose a password. Maybe you always have a password for your Padlets and your students know it and they have to type it in before they actually post. Secret, or I can go public. Either one, all of those are fine. Secret just means that when people aren't going to be able to search it based on tags or anything like that. Add contributors. This is when I can go back to that contributors page, or I can add an email. I could send it to one of you, and you and I could both contribute on this Padlet as far as modifying or making it. And then I can go ahead and click the option of people, if you wanted to use one that I already had, you can push the remake, and that way they can download it to do a template of their own work. Or moderation. Sometimes for older kids, this is a good choice. I will give you a word of warning on it. If you choose moderation, that means that you will get an email for every post that you will have to confirm their post before it will actually show up publicly on the board. This can be a good or bad thing. If you have, I would say this goes back to digital citizenship. If you have a problem, you might want to push moderation. If you have not had a problem, you're probably safe to use digital citizenship and function that way within it. It can create quite a few emails in your inbox. And so I'm going to go next. And it says you're all set to go. Start posting. And I can start posting. And if I were to post, you can do that in two ways. If I double click on the board, it's going to allow me to post. And notice my name is up here. I can put a title, maybe I'm responding tutorial. And I can say how I would use this. And then maybe I would write something underneath. To get out the door, homework, all of those things. I can also use a voice note or actually this is for an attachment. I can do an attachment for this. I can do an external attachment, which is like a video. So I can plus this and it's going to ask me what I want to do. I can use a picture off my camera. I can upload a picture and I can even attach a file to this. Lots of good uses you can do. If I want to throw this away, I can easily trash it right there. Another way is to click this pencil button, and that allows you also to post. So two different ways that you can initiate a post on a Padlet. Notice down here I have a write a comment. This is where different students, you can almost use this as a discussion board. I could reply to this like, great idea. And I can send. And notice it ends up threading those together and you're allowed to comment. Anytime you see 3 dots or what I call a hamburger menu, which is 3 lines, it means that there are more actions that you can do. It is a menu. So I can edit, I can trash, or there are more options. I can change the Padlet color, I can edit my post, I can transfer post, copy, expand. Those are where all your options are for your Padlets. Now, one thing I want you to see is, what if I don't like the setup of this? Format. So if I want to change the format, you can see by just clicking a button, it is going to change the format. So now it's going to stack them in a grid type mode. If I go to change format again, and maybe I do a shelf idea, this could be the first one in my shelf, and you'll notice I can rename this column, and maybe it is how my classroom use, and then I could add another one, and it's going to be these shelf ideas that students can interact and comment on each one of the ideas you put up. Think of a KWL might be something that you could do in a digital format. The last thing I want to show you is share. To share this, I've already shown you this one, but if I go over to this other side, there is a share, export, or embed. The great thing about Padlet is it automatically gives you a QR code that you can copy and use for your students to get to this. So if they're iPad users or have a camera, a laptop that maybe has can flip and the camera can read things through a QR, this is great for young kids with iPads because they don't have to try to type in an address. You can go ahead and use that, or there are apps like platform applications you can get on devices, and then they can also get the link to this. So it's copied the link, and now I can go ahead and just share that out through either Google Classroom, LMS. I can email it to my classroom. So any of those options are there to go ahead and share and export this. You will notice that when you get to the Padlet, you're able to just open it right up and interact. Because I do not have it locked, you can do that just basically with the link. So that is Padlet. Great uses. Think about how you might use it in the classroom.